A lot of folks we talk to think building an ADU is as simple as putting down a foundation and building up from there. Hold on, not so fast. Building an ADU requires that you work with your planning and zoning department of your city or municipality. In this video, we're going to talk about building permits. We're going to talk about demolition permits. If you're in a coastal area, we're going to talk about coastal development permits. We're going to talk about some site-specific permits that vary throughout the state of California and across the US. We're going to talk about address reassignment and getting a different address for the ADU versus the main house. And then we're going to get a sense of the general costs, the typical costs to do this pre-development work with the city to make sure you're doing things up to code in the right way. So first, building permits. These are the set of permits that are always required for every ADU build in the state of California and across the US. Generally, you need to submit floor plans of both the main house and of the ADU that you're going to build. Submitting those floor plans for the main house ensures that there's no unpermitted work on the property. In California, thanks to a recent bill called SB 897, having unpermitted work on your property, for example, in the main house, will actually not hinder your ADU project so long as that unpermitted work does not pose a health or a safety risk. So that's a huge thumbs up from the state of California to get more ADUs built. In that building permit, you're also going to put the Title 24, which is your building energy efficiency standards. So that's going to define a lot of the energy usage and sort of the way the energy flows in your ADU. You're also going to have elevations, which are these projection drawings that they sort of look, an architect or a designer generally produces those, and they show one side of the house at a time. Then you've got sections and roof plans. Very important to get the roof and the trusses all set up in a way that's structurally sound. So if you thought you were going to submit a floor plan and get a green check mark back from the city, unfortunately, you're sorely mistaken. Some of these plan sets are 30 plus pages long. In the upcoming video, we're actually going to go through page by page a submitted and approved ADU permit set from Redwood City, California, so you can see every single page that goes into this. So subscribe if you want to be notified of that when that video comes out. All right, number 2, demolition permits. So when you're doing a garage conversion in the state of California, typically you need a demolition permit. And I'll note that it's not just if you're taking an existing garage and renovating inside to build living space, but it's also in the state of California, it's also considered a garage conversion if you tear down a garage and then build an ADU in that existing footprint. Now, this used to be a way that some cities would prevent, fast development of ADUs. They were required by earlier legislation to approve building permits for ADUs, but they would withhold the demolition permit for months or years. Thanks to new legislation in SB 897, starting on January 1st, 2023, cities have to issue this demolition permit if the building permit has already been approved. So that's a great step forward. Number 3, coastal development permits. If you live in what is designated as a coastal area, you likely have additional permits to get. We'll do a separate video if that's applicable to you. Number 4, site-specific permits. I can't go through all of the examples of site-specific permits, but let me give you a few. 1, if you live in Los Angeles County and you're going to build an ADU within 10 feet of a utility easement, you need a utility easement permit. Other examples include if you want to remove, for example, a heritage tree, or if your ADU is determined to have an outsized impact on your neighbors. These are all additional permits that you may need and are site-specific. That's why it's so important to hire a local designer that has a really good knowledge of your specific zip code, your specific process. They know how to get permits issued for your address. Number 5, address reassignment. I don't know about you, but I personally don't want to be sorting through mail for myself and my renter in the backyard. I'd rather have their mail go directly to them. Some cities require this, some cities don't require this. Either way, we generally think it's a good idea. Also, some cities and some utilities make it much easier or require you to have a separate address if you're going to bill utilities directly to that unit. Okay, so now that we've talked about the permits, let's talk about cost. In general, in California, most ADUs end up costing in permits and city fees between $8,000 and $12,000. That's a pretty good estimate. Note, it's often more than that if you live in a coastal overlay district. And also note that in California, at least, ADUs under 750 square feet, right on the dot there, and under, are not subject to development and impact fees that larger ADUs are. So we often, maximal hot tip is to design right up to that limit, right at 748 square feet. We see a lot of designs in that range. If you enjoyed the content in this video, if you want to learn more about how to maximize your property, including ADUs, but also other things, then like and subscribe to our channel, this Maximal channel here on YouTube. You can also go to our website, maximalspace.com, for loads of free information, ADU tours if you want to see what other people have done to their properties, calculators to understand how much money you'll need down, and all sorts of free tools. In addition, if you input your address, we'll be able to connect you with local designers and builders and prefab companies who can really talk about the ins and outs of building an ADU on your property. We love helping homeowners move from an idea to actually permitted and then built ADUs.